up there?
Nope.
I mean, do you see us? Is the YouTube up there?
Yeah, but there's no pictures.
Okay. Right. Your channel. We're live. All right. They can see everything you're doing right now.
All right. I won't make any obscene gestures.
All right. Here we go again.
Pick it up where we left off. Are we live?
We're live.
All right. So, we were talking a little bit of news and notes. Let's pick up with Mike White for the Jets. What do you think about him? 400 yards.
400 yards for Mike White.
More than 400
yards. 402 yards, I believe. I can pull it up. He looked like a beast, honestly. Like it felt like Zach Wilson.
He was making it look really easy, and Zach Wilson didn't even come close to looking like that through the 7 games that he played or whatever. So I don't know. It'd be interesting. I'm sure if Mike White does that again in his next 2 games, Zach Wilson will be sitting the bench for a minute.
It stopped.
Why?
I have no idea. But it stopped.
What do you mean it stopped?
It stopped.
Doesn't look stopped.
Oh, so maybe mine's not working. I'm just. I'm pretty frustrated right now. Yeah, mine's frozen. And it stopped here. Oh no, it didn't stop here.
SWB audio capture not registered.
What's up, guys? Sorry they can't hear me, but sorry.
Yeah, sorry guys, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. We are going to get it figured out here pretty shortly. And we'll get it picked up right where we left off.
They turned our power off.
Yeah, we were right in the middle of it, and someone turned our power off for a minute. So I don't think they were doing a lot of thinking when they did that.
Zero thinking that was happening.
Zero brain activity going on during that time. But we'll get it figured out.
God. And then I just spilled your drink.
No worries, I didn't get anything.
This is a real live show.
We're really killing this show right now. I'm just saying.
I don't want that just to sit there. So.
Here, grab some toilet paper out here.
There's no toilet paper.
Well, this has been a fun show. I hope you guys are having as much fun as I am right now. All right.
Fix that.
We're going to get this cleaned up, and it's just lagged. And we're going to get back into it. I think it's just really lagged because I got up.
SWB audio capture not registered.
Is it working now? Because I don't see it still.
No. Oh, that's right. I took your camera. That's what I did.
Look, I'm on both. Oh, there it goes. It's fixed. We're good to go now?
We are good to go now.
This has been fun.
This has been fun. This has been the livest show you've ever experienced.
Sometimes the live went out for a minute.
And we might have lost you because there were so many dumb things that happened. But we're here. And just you go shut that door real quick.
Yeah, let me shut the door real quick.
And then we'll get back into. We got to keep talking about Mike White. Mike White.
Let's just start over right there. So Mike White going off. I mean, obviously no one predicted that, right? 400 plus yards for Mike White.
No, I did not see that coming.
We play in a super flex league that's pretty deep. There's generally no quarterbacks on the waiver wire. This week, Mike White sat on the waiver wire the whole week, and no one even wanted to pick him up. That's the first week that's ever happened.
First week that's ever happened. Last week, he put up 200 yards, and I thought about picking him up, but also at the same time, he threw, I think, 2 interceptions last week. So this is not someone I'm really interested in.
He threw 2 this week too. I mean, he's still a young quarterback who's going to have his struggles, but he had a lot of promising throws stuff in there too. So
right. So I mean, I'm excited about him. I feel like it's going to be a Luke Wilson bye-bye scenario because the team was not as electric, or Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
The team was not as electric with him at the quarterback situation. And I got to check one more thing. And
Mike White shows up, and all of a sudden they win games and look good. And so I don't know. I mean, obviously they can't. They got to stick with him until he slows down a little bit. But yeah, he's an interesting flyer. If you are in any kind of league where it's quarterback deep at all, he's an interesting guy to throw onto your bench just to see if he can do it again. Because he might be legit. Who knows?
Like I said, they seemed more electric with him at quarterback because they came back from a loss like a must. It was like, I don't know, I think they were down maybe 2 or 3 touchdowns.
They looked good. I mean, I watched a good part of that game, and they were competitive most of that game. They were winning a good part of that game, actually, I think.
No, they were down decently at some point.
All I know is at the end of the game, Cincinnati was the team trying to come back, and they were down by at least more than 1 touchdown.
Yeah, and that was towards the end. At the beginning of it all, it was not looking good, and then they pulled it through. As far as I remember, I watched that game.
Mike White looked pretty good. I mean, I don't know really what to take from it because the guy's been in the league for 3 years, and I never even heard his name.
Right,
There's not many players that are like that for me.
I checked his season stats, and this is the first game that he started. This is his first game that that
was his first NFL start.
Right,
yes.
First NFL start. He's been in the league for 3 years.
First player to ever throw for 400 yards in their first start.
In his first start, like we said, he started.
That's
or he didn't start.
Somewhat noticeable.
He came in the game last week, threw 200 yards, and then started this week, threw 400, had an injury. He got hit pretty hard, came back, still threw for 400 yards. Like Mike White, I feel like I'm excited about this guy. I feel like it benefits everyone on his team, especially like a couple people we're thinking about is not Cordell Patterson, but Crowder.
Crowder, yeah. I mean, he made
Jameson
Crowder look good last week.
Yeah, Jameson Crowder.
Yeah.
He might be a good waiver wire pickup this week because if Mike White can do it again, of course, we've only seen one sample.
It looked like Mike White really liked Jameson Crowder.
Yeah,
he had like 11 or 12 targets.
11 or 12 targets. I mean, I can pull that up real quick. Jameson Crowder.
I want to go through this list here and see how much you like Mike White real quick. I'm going to list a few guys. You tell me if you like Mike White better than them or not.
Okay.
So let's start like Jared Goff.
I like Mike White better.
Mike White better, yeah. Mac Jones.
Probably Mike White. But of course, we've only had one full game, but right now I think I'd be more excited about getting Mike White.
But if people are going to be picking up Mike White, they're probably going to be dropping a different quarterback. So
right.
They got to make these decisions.
I like Mike White better.
What about Ben Roethlisberger?
Mike White.
Taylor Heineke.
It's a toss-up.
I like Mike White better.
Mike White better?
Yeah, plus Taylor Heineke might lose his job in a few weeks. You never know.
That's true. Mike White.
So I'd go Mike White. What about... You like him better than like Taysom Hill, right? Because Taysom Hill is probably going to take Winston's spot.
Yeah.
Justin Fields.
Justin Fields just had a pretty good week, but I feel like it feels pretty fluky to me.
I would probably go Justin Fields just because I think his upside's a lot better.
I'm going to go with Mike White.
I would go with the guy who was drafted in the first round over the guy who's been in the
Zach Wilson was drafted second, right? Wasn't he? Or third?
Yeah, but I mean, I still think in the long run, Wilson probably better than Mike White.
No. Zach Wilson looks terrible.
Do you think Mike White just had the best game of his career?
Maybe.
I think that might be the case.
No, come on. I'm pretty excited about Mike White. He even in like dangerous situations, he came back and just killed it.
He looked
and
great.
Continued to kill it.
I don't know where my confidence is on him continuing it, but I want to take a chance on it just in case.
Yeah, I would take a chance on it. Mike White. I mean, I've been watching the New York Jets games because I have what's his name, Corey Davis on my team and my season long in our league where we pay money to be the best, or we pay money to win a bunch of money.
Right.
And I've got Corey Davis on that team, so I might be speaking from some bias.
Yeah,
but
you said you like Corey Davis more now because of Mike White, right?
I love Corey Davis now because of Mike White. I feel like he's going to have a lot more opportunity to actually produce off of his targets, and I feel like there might be more targets. I just feel like Mike
Davis
White
was out this week, right?
Corey Davis was out this week, so Jameson Crowder probably got a little bit more usage because of that. But I feel like Corey Davis, when he comes back healthy, which will probably be next week, he's going to be someone that you could possibly buy low on.
He'll be a guy to keep an eye on. I think they play on Thursday night, so it'll be a short turnaround for them.
Yeah. So I like Mike White. I like Corey Davis. I like Jameson Crowder. I like this offense a lot better than I did.
Also, how about Michael Carter? He scored like 30 fantasy
points.
Yeah,
Michael Carter. That's right. The running back.
He was like the best running back of the week.
Yeah. Pull him up.
Crazy.
No, it's on my phone now. Michael Carter.
Yeah.
He killed it. He's on.
I mean, Mike White threw the ball to him a lot. He had 14 targets. 14 targets for Michael Carter. And I think we talked about this last week. We said Mike White being the quarterback might benefit Michael Carter because he likes to throw those shorter passes.
Right, exactly.
And that's exactly what it was. He was throwing the short passes to Michael Carter, short passes to Jameson Crowder, and it worked for him.
It worked for him very well. He had 15 rushing attempts, 77 yards, 1 rushing touchdown, 14 freaking targets.
Yeah, and 100 receiving yards.
95 receiving yards and 9 receptions. I feel like Michael Carter going forward, again, Mike White is a benefit to him. I really don't see a scenario unless he just bombs next week, which he totally could. We've only seen one full game of him starting. If Mike White continues this, Zach Wilson's going to have to find a new job, is how I feel.
I don't know. I mean, we'll see how defenses respond to Mike White. I mean, he might only be good at one thing, and then defenses figure it out and just shut him down.
We'll see. Yeah, that could happen. But I'm very high on Mike White. All right, let's talk about our next person. It's freaking Gainwell.
Kenneth Gainwell, man. He was the hot pickup of the week. A lot of people were excited about him. A lot of people playing him in DraftKings.
It makes sense because
a lot of people stashed him for the situation that Miles Sanders goes down, and then Miles Sanders went down.
Yeah, just in case no one's wishing any bad things on Miles Sanders, but if he goes down, it felt like Gainwell would be like a very...
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people
an asset everyone wanted.
He would be a great play if he ever got the chance, and maybe he would be, but I don't know if he ever will get the chance.
Yeah, I don't know. The scenario finally happened, and turns out Gainwell is number 3.
Turns out they picked up Jordan Howard off the streets because he didn't even have a job
before.
And they're like, all right, yeah, Jordan Howard, you can take over Gainwell because we like you better, apparently.
This made no sense to me. But so Boston Scott was the number 1 this week. And then
I really wasn't surprised to see Boston Scott be the number 1, though, because they did show last week when Miles Sanders went down that they went to Boston Scott quite a bit. I thought that Scott and Gainwell might kind of split the work. But what was really frustrating...
A little more than they did. I mean, they didn't give Gainwell... I think he had 1 rushing attempt before the fourth quarter.
We also got to remember that Jalen Hurts only threw the ball 10 times, and that's where Gainwell thrives. So if they play a game next week where the game script is different and they got to pass more, Gainwell might get more involved again. But it pretty much shoots down his chances of turning into a really good play because...
Yeah, he feels pretty droppable at this point. It's very frustrating.
There's no circumstances where their team is going to feel good about him as a 3-down guy.
So he had 13 rushing attempts for 27 yards. 12 of those came in the fourth quarter. Yeah. He had like 1, maybe 2 previous to that, and the rest of it went to Jordan Howard and Boston Scott. So Philadelphia scored 4 rushing touchdowns that day from running backs. 2 of them went to Jordan Howard.
5, because Hurts had a rushing touchdown, right?
Yeah, maybe he did. I can't remember. I was so pissed. I didn't see the Hurts touchdown.
He had 5 rushing touchdowns and a defensive touchdown. so frustrating to play Jalen Hurts this week. I mean, at least you got the rushing touchdown.
Right,
but,
it was frustrating
come on, pass
to play.
the ball.
Yeah, it was frustrating to play Jalen Hurts. It was frustrating to play Gainwell, which I had a lot of exposure to him in daily fantasy, and it just screwed me.
But after seeing
in
this
all
game,
aspects of that word.
Generally, you got to feel quite a bit of confidence in Boston Scott, right?
Yeah, you got to feel pretty good
He
about
looked
Boston
good.
Scott.
It looks like their team believes in him and thinks that he's their best guy that's healthy right now.
What changed? Like previous to that, maybe last week after Miles Sanders went out, they started handing him the ball a little bit. But like every week leading up to that was a
Scott
sign.
Was like inactive or not even playing.
Yeah, it was a sign that Gainwell would be the dude. And
I know. Yeah, all signs pointed to Gainwell.
It frustrated me. So I lost some money, not a lot, like $100, but also I had him stashed on my dynasty line. I was thinking this would be a good stack. Yeah, not wishing the worst on Miles Sanders, but if something bad happened,
you do that with running backs.
You have some security there, and I felt like Gainwell was it, and it turns out it's not. And now it feels like
I think you can move on from that one.
Yeah, now it feels like you just be like bye bye.
Yeah,
but maybe Gainwell will be more involved if they're coming from behind.
He will be. I mean. When they go and play a game where they're passing the ball and playing from behind, which they will because they're not that good of a team. They're going to be playing from behind.
Yeah, they got Jalen Hurts as their quarterback.
Yeah.
Who, the only thing he can do is run.
Yeah, scores fantasy
terrible.
points, but
I don't like Jalen Hurts very much.
Hurts might get benched before the end of the year, so
yeah,
we'll see what happens with that team. I like Boston Scott going forward, and Kenneth Gainwell is droppable.
Yeah, droppable. Yeah, I'm going to be dropping him this week. I'm not very excited about him anymore. All right, so the next person we're going to talk about is James Robinson. This week he had a bruised heel. Was the injury, which will be like 1 to 2 weeks, I guess.
They went and signed a waiver wire running back right away today. So I think.
What was his name?
Divino
Zigbo.
And he's okay. I mean, I wouldn't go sign him. I wouldn't go at him or anything like that. But I think it's a sign that says James Robinson is going to miss some time.
Okay, so James Robinson's going to miss some time. Who benefits here? I don't feel like I'm not excited about Carlos Hyde.
Carlos Hyde's the guy. I mean, as long as James Robinson is out, I would start Carlos Hyde.
Yeah. Carlos Hyde is the main benefactor here.
Yep.
Carlos Hyde.
But ultimately, I mean, the Jags. Their offense just doesn't look that good. Trevor Lawrence is not really progressing as much as you would like to see him at this point in the season. And they're just it makes you not like Carlos Hyde as much as you could because he's just a guy who could get some touchdowns if their offense is good enough.
Right.
But right now they don't look it.
I don't really feel like it's Trevor Lawrence's fault. I feel like
it might not be Lawrence's fault at all. Yeah, it could totally be Urban Meyer.
Overall, I feel like he could be a stud in the future of the NFL, but right now he's not in a good situation. Carlos Hyde had 9 attempts for 32 yards and 8 targets for 40 yards. Got him 10 fantasy points after James Robinson went out. James Robinson was producing like he normally does. He's an absolute stud. I really like James Robinson. It sucks to see this happen to him because I feel like he's in his current situation on the offense with them signing what's his name. Ozigbo, and then also drafting what's IT or what's his name?
ETN, that's true.
So
I don't know what they were doing. Honestly, I just think that was a sign that their coach didn't know what they were doing.
Right. It seemed pretty stupid, especially having James Robinson, who in 4 attempts got 22 yards. That's about 6
and
yards
it's not like
per
the
attempt.
Team's like, oh, but we're so good at every position, so we'll just
right.
It
didn't make
back.
any sense to draft that dude, and it also probably frustrated their amazing running back James Robinson. I feel like long term he's going to be fine. Also,
Robinson's going to be fine. He's still really young. He's still really good. I really think he'll probably just miss 1 week.
Yeah, he'll probably miss 1 week. So I'm not really too interested in Carlos Hyde unless you're like desperate. If you're going to search for something to replace a player like Derrick Henry,
then I would start Carlos Hyde this week. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't go spend a lot of fab to go get him just because I think it's going to be short term.
No, I would not. Random news right now. Kadarius Toney and Sterling Shepard are going to be healthy tonight. They just popped in to my phone.
So who would you play, Toney or Shepard?
Tony.
Yeah,
100%.
Me too.
It's not even. I don't even need.
Shepard's.
He's very. He's been pretty good all season, but I don't even have to think twice about it. It's Kadarius Toney immediately.
Hopefully he's fully healthy and not like a decoy.
Not a decoy. I expect the same thing that we've been seeing from Kadarius Toney, where Daniel Jones, they're playing the Chiefs. They're basically playing no one. It's like an open field that Daniel Jones gets to throw to Kadarius Toney because their defense is just terrible.
If he's all the way healthy, it could be a huge game for him.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge game for Kadarius Toney as long as that injury is not lingering. I feel very confident in him season long. That's like my silver lining this week is like I just lost. So in our league, I have James Robinson and Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
I lost Derrick Henry for most likely 6 weeks. That's the rest of the regular season.
For the rest of the season
of fantasy football.
Yep.
And then I lost James Robinson for a week or two. We'll see what happens there. But luckily, I was on Kadarius Toney than before a lot of other people were.
Yeah, you got Toney. That's been your bright spot right now.
We'll see how that pans out today. But I believe in that kid. He looks like a stud.
Yeah, he's gonna be great.
I can't wait to watch the game tonight. Right after the show.
One more topic I wanted to talk about before we kind of move on to our waiver wire segment is the New Orleans Saints with Jameson Winston.
Jameis Winston
looks like he is out for the year, right? Did they say that for
he's
sure?
Out for the year. He tore an ACL and then did had like a strain on his MCL or something like that.
Yeah, it sounds pretty serious. So, I mean, I think the expectation is Taysom Hill will take over at quarterback.
Right. Next week, I think they're on a bye or something. I mean, I'll double check that.
They already had their bye.
They already had their bye. So, who was it? Trevor
Siemian came in for him because Taysom Hill's had a concussion. So, I think he'll probably be fine at some point going forward. But I imagine they'll go with him when he's healthy. But does this mean bad things for Alvin Kamara to you?
I don't really think it does.
Last year when Taysom Hill was the quarterback, Alvin Kamara took a big dip.
That's true. You're right.
It might have been coincidence, but it's something to think about.
Kamara probably will take a little bit of a hit because he's Taysom Hill is like a Jalen Hurts, you know what I mean? Like if he doesn't see
even more so. I mean, he's a worse passer than Hurts probably.
If he doesn't see an opportunity to pass the ball, he's just going to run it.
Yeah,
I mean, he's going to take a lot of attempts.
First.
Yeah, he's going to look to run
takes
first.
The ball and goes, "Can I run? If I can't run, then I'll throw it up in the air. Maybe one of my guys will catch it."
Can someone catch this? I can't get it to that guy. I'll just run it. Yeah, that's Taysom Hill.
Yeah,
but he's good at it, and I mean, I feel like
the problem is he vultures all the touchdowns from Kamara.
It's right. He vultures the touchdowns. He doesn't really throw the ball a lot. It's okay.
I'm a little worried about Kamara because they also just signed Mark Ingram. And I think they're going to use Mark Ingram quite a bit.
Oh yeah, I mean we've seen that in the past.
Yeah,
they were the 1-2 punch. The 1-2 punch previously.
It's just like Ingram and Hill are both just kind of like tiny jabs at Kamara's like touchdown value.
Right.
And they're both just enough to me where it's like I don't think he's going to be the Alvin Kamara you're hoping for.
Right.
Most weeks,
yeah. So, I mean, I'd worry about it a little bit. I feel like a Taysom Hill would be a pretty good, if you're desperate for a quarterback, pretty good pickup.
Yeah, I think we would both rather take Mike White or like Justin Fields if they're available.
Yeah, then Taysom Hill.
Mike White's available in all leagues. So.
Yeah, he's like, what is it? I got to pull it up. Mike White is like
0.5% owned.
Yeah, it's silly. We everyone in the NFL or the fantasy football thought process thought the same thing, which is like, oh, he got 200 yards, but he threw 2 interceptions, and you know what? Feels pretty fluky.
Yeah.
Turns out he's like one of the highest scoring quarterbacks on the week.
Yeah. Yep. He had the most yards.
Who was it? There's an interesting thing I saw on Twitter. So Mike White won this week. Brandon Rush won this week. Trevor Siemian won this week. Guess who lost?
Who?
Tom Brady.
Yeah, Tom Brady. Yep.
All these backup quarterbacks won, and then. Okay.
Yep.
I lost. So
lost to Trevor Siemian.
He lost to Trevor Siemian. That's right. Trevor Siemian beat Tom Brady this week, which is not a reason why you should go pick him up off the waiver wire.
You should probably drop Tom Brady, go pick up Mike White. It's an obvious move.
And then Trevor Siemian. I got Trevor Siemian leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I'm a Broncos fan. I don't like him very much. He's probably a fine dude, but as far
I'm not
as
a Broncos fan, and I agree he's pretty bad.
Yeah, as a person, he's probably great. As a quarterback,
I'm sure he's a real nice guy.
Yeah.
I'm sure his mom loves him.
Yeah, I'm sure his mom loves him a lot. But all right, That's all the major news that we wrote down to talk about today after we had our power
Pretty
go
crazy
out.
week this week. So
Pretty crazy week, not only in NFL, but also with the
also,
the
one thing to
pivot.
note is the NFL trade deadline is tomorrow afternoon, so keep an eye and see if anything
Yeah,
else
Von
happens.
Miller got traded.
I saw that. Yeah, that was interesting.
To
To the
the
Rams.
Rams for 2 second-round picks or something like that.
Yeah. Not a fantasy-relevant move, really. But
As a Broncos fan, not excited about that.
But watch, like, maybe Deshaun Watson gets traded. Maybe the Titans trade for a running back. I mean, some
Well,
stuff.
they already got they picked up Adrian Peterson. Actually,
they're like, we got Adrian Peterson. We're all good now.
No. We got 35-year-old Adrian Peterson. We don't need
I think
anything.
if they could trade for someone, it could still
I
happen.
feel like Todd Gurley might come into the picture at this point.
Nobody wants Todd Gurley.
I don't know why no one wants Todd Gurley. Like he
Cool.
didn't have a terrible season last week. I mean, last
He
year.
was pretty bad last year.
He wasn't awful. Was he worse than Adrian Peterson? Adrian Peterson, I remember one game where he went for like
Adrian
That was like
Peterson
it.
last year, I remember there was multiple games where he was like 14 carries, 18 yards.
yeah, yeah. And then he has like one big 90. He
Yeah.
has the biggest run of his career, I
Well,
think, last year,
that's-
98
that's
yards.
always how he has been. Even in his prime, he would be like 20 carries, 40 yards, and then fourth quarter, bust off a big one. He was a lot like Derrick Henry in that sense.
Yeah. So I'm sad that no one's targeting Todd Gurley. I feel like he would be perfect for the Tennessee.
Maybe.
But so they're probably not going for him.
I don't think they're going to go for Todd Gurley, but I wouldn't be surprised if they trade for someone. I heard Melvin Gordon's name thrown out. That'd be interesting.
Oh yeah, Melvin Gordon in Tennessee. That'd be very interesting.
Yep, that'd be interesting for him and for Javonte Williams.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that'd benefit both of
So,
them.
Probably
that's a
won't
great
happen because
scenario.
usually when it like makes so much sense, just nothing ever
Yeah,
happens. but-
because like, is that what the internet wants?
Right.
No thanks. I don't want to do that.
But
All right.
something could happen, so it's worth paying attention to going forward. But yeah, let's hit the waiver wire segment.
All right, waiver wire segment. All right, we got top 5 waiver wire pickups this week. In our opinion, we are not experts, but we do this a lot. So take that for what it is. It is. This week is someone that we've already talked about, and
Yep.
I express a lot of love towards. It is Mike White.
Mike White's a good one. I mean, I think we talked about it. You got to be, like, not all leagues are usually looking for a quarterback because sometimes leagues that
Right.
only start one quarterback
We're
in
in a
10
double.
teams.
We're in an OP. So we have an OP flex in our league. So
Yeah.
we put a lot of value in our quarterbacks.
I will say probably not all leagues would want to add Mike White, but if you're a league that has very much quarterback depth value,
Right.
he's a great play because he showed upside. And that's what you're looking for on the waiver wire is players with good upside.
Right.
Mike White just showed that he has the upside to put up a bunch of points.
36 points to be
Maybe
exact.
he'll never do it again, or maybe he will consistently do it. It's worth taking a chance on.
Right. I feel like it's a great it's an opportunity to where it could not be a season-long pickup, but it has the potential to be one. Because as I said earlier, and when we were talking about Mike White, I've been watching the New York Jets because I have
I'm
Corey
sorry that
Davis.
You've been watching the New York Jets.
Yeah,
They're not
yeah.
very exciting.
They're not very exciting. They were this week, though. They were very
Yeah.
exciting this
Yeah.
week.
There was
I've
a
been
change of
watching the
pace.
New York Jets and Zach Wilson, right? Zach Wilson?
Yeah, Zach Wilson is
Zach
the main
Wilson
quarterback.
has not been very exciting to watch other than week 1 where he threw 2 touchdowns to Corey Davis.
Mm-hmm.
But this week, Mike White just looked like a stud. Like he looked better than him. And so I feel like if he continues that, Zach Wilson's going to lose his job to Mike White, who's been in the league for 3 years but had his first career start this week and put up so far in 2 games 600 passing yards. So I feel like we only had 1 game sample so far. We'll see what happens, but to me, it doesn't feel fluky. It feels like a guy that could have a real career in the NFL.
Yeah. I think I'm probably a little bit more skeptical about him than you are, but I think he's worth taking a flyer on just because, like we said. That's
Yeah.
what I want off the waiver wire. I'm not looking to pick up like Jared Goff.
No,
Goff's off the
Jared
waiver
Goff
wire.
can just retire.
He doesn't have
for
upside.
all I
Like,
care.
his
No.
upside's like, hey guys,
Are they 0-7 now? 0-8?
I threw for more than 200 yards this week. It was a great week.
I didn't get a touchdown, but I got 200 yards.
Right.
Is that good? All right. So that's Mike White. That's how we feel about Mike White. Number 5 on the waiver wire pickup
Yep.
list this week. We got number 4, Carlos Hyde.
Yep, Carlos Hyde's Carlos Hyde's a good one this week just because
We
you can plug him into your lineup right away.
Yeah, you can plug him into your
feel
lineup
pretty good about him.
right now. We're not sure exactly how long the James Robinson injury is going to last.
Yeah, we don't expect it to be long, but also you never know. Like sometimes injuries just linger, and a lot of times there's guys like this, Carlos Hyde, who doesn't go super high on the waiver wire because everyone thinks it's only going to be a 1-week injury, and then it turns into a season-long injury, and you got Carlos Hyde for really cheap.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's worth taking a chance on for that kind of stuff.
Right.
You never know with injuries. We are not medical doctors.
We are not medical doctors. I like, so if you're desperate at running back, if you just need a good running back for this next week, or not a good one, but like one that has the potential to score you points, I like Carlos Hyde. Season long, like long term, I don't really love him because I feel like James Robinson's injuries.
James Robinson will be back too.
Yeah, we'll be back.
Yeah.
So it's more like this is this week based. So like this week, this is what's good. Season long wise, I don't love Carlos Hyde.
Yeah, I agree.
But like if you need points this week, which I do because I just lost Derrick Henry and James Robinson, I need Carlos Hyde.
Yep.
And I didn't have him on my bench stupidly, so I need Carlos Hyde.
But you had Kenneth Gainwell.
I had Kenneth Gainwell, who
so now you can drop him.
Now I can replace Gainwell with Carlos Hyde.
Lucky enough, you might not get him.
Just like the coach drew up. All right, so number 3, we got Adrian Peterson.
Yep, and I think Adrian Peterson and Carlos Hyde are kind of close for me just because, like, so if you had to start someone this week, who would you start?
Between who?
Carlos Hyde and Adrian Peterson.
Probably Adrian Peterson.
I'd start Carlos Hyde this week.
Who are they playing? Who are they playing? Let me.
I don't know.
This
it's not necessarily matchup based. I just would not have confidence to start Adrian Peterson this week. Just joining a team, being 36 years old.
They're playing Buffalo.
We have no clue how much they're going to use him.
Jacksonville is playing Buffalo. Let's look up. Let's. All I have to do
Buffalo's a pretty bad matchup.
Go to my roster because I lost Derrick Henry. They're playing the Rams.
They're both pretty tough matchups.
Both pretty tough matchups. I feel like they're just going to plug and play Adrian Peterson. I don't feel like it's going to be like a process here. I feel like it's going to happen immediately.
I don't really think so. I'd be surprised. I bet this week he gets 10 carries and like 30 yards.
Okay,
and
they get
if
10
he gets
carries.
a touchdown, then it's fine.
They get 10 carries, but probably like half of those are going to be within the 20-yard line in the end zone.
But is he good enough to get into the end zone?
Yeah,
we don't know.
He is. He's Adrian Peterson. He did it last year. He did it last year. No, yeah, the short-term stuff, like the short yardage stuff, he did that a lot last year.
I don't know. I would not trust him right away. I would rather start Carlos Hyde this week. But I would rather pick up Adrian Peterson if you're looking for a long-term play because he could be useful the rest of the year, and Carlos Hyde could be worth only
Carlos
1 week
Hyde
guy.
is pretty short-term, so
Right.
I feel
so
like
that's why we have Adrian Peterson.
He's definitely more long-term because you at least have 6 weeks out of him.
You know Henry's going to be out for a while.
Yeah.
He just got put on IR, so it's going to be
put on IR. Just played through a whole game, not scoring a ton of points, but he broke a bone and finished the game. He's a stud. He's going to come back and just kill it. He's going to be pissed off the next 6 weeks is what he's going to be.
Probably. Yeah. I wouldn't want to get in his way.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Number 2 on our waiver wire list, we got Boston Scott.
Boston Scott. I think this is a great pickup. I actually snagged Boston Scott in a couple leagues before this week, so I don't have to deal with the waiver wire frenzy on him. But I think he's going to be a good play going forward as long as
Did you
Miles
get him in the
Sanders
money
is out.
league?
I did.
You did.
I got him in the money league, and I got him in our dynasty league.
That is stupid.
Our dynasty league,
I don't like that very much.
you just dropped him a few weeks ago, and I said, thank you very much, I'll take him.
Yeah, it's just,
And it's going to pan out for me now.
we'll see. Boston Scott had 12 attempts last week, 60 yards. Oh my God, that production is very nice. And then one
two
target,
touchdowns.
zero catches.
Yep.
But he got
he's actually
60
a pretty
yards.
good pass catcher too. So.
Yeah, he is a great pass catcher.
Yeah.
He got 60 yards off of 12 attempts. That's fantastic. I mean,
Yeah.
that is literally what 12,
That's
6.
five.
That's like
5
5
yards a
yards
carry.
an attempt.
Yep. He's a good running back, and I mean Sanders is on IR, so he's.
I was on him. I was on him before Gainwell was in the picture. I had him on my. I had him as a target for drafting, In my best ball, I got lots of Boston Scott exposure.
Nice.
So that's good for me.
Because that was before you knew about Gainwell, right?
Yeah, it's before I knew. I thought I loved him. I was
Yeah.
like, I got him in my dynasty. I feel like he's a stud. I feel like he's the next. What's the old Philadelphia running back? He looks just like him. Darren Sproles.
Yeah.
He looks just like him. And
Except
in
bigger.
Philadelphia, except bigger. And Philadelphia loved Darren Sproles. He was in the
Yeah.
league for so long.
Yeah,
And
true.
I felt like Boston Scott was like the replacement for that. Like they love this guy. They can't not have him
I do
because
think
they don't
like him. Yeah, I think.
But then the first 6 weeks there was nothing.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was Gaineswell, and I gave up, and I shouldn't have. But that's where I'm at with that. But I feel like Boston Scott is the dude to have in Philadelphia, even though I don't have him. He's the dude that you should be the most excited about. He's only 4.9% owned across ESPN
so
leagues.
He's available in
in everything.
Yep.
Pretty much everything.
He's almost available
most likely
in all your
he's
leagues.
available in your league, except for mine. Because
and I lock him into your lineup for the next few weeks.
Dude here.
Yeah, he'll be in my lineup this week.
Yeah, well, yeah. You got 18 fantasy points. Yeah, Boston Scott. He's our number 2 on the week, and for a very good reason. He looked like a stud, and he can pass and run.
Yep.
He's gonna get a lot of opportunities,
and he's good on the goal line. So I mean,
he's good on the goal line. That's who they went to on the goal line, and then after they stopped going to him on the goal line, they went to Jordan Howard.
Yeah, after they were up 38-0, they're like, all right, let's use the.
And then
Jordan
Gaineswell
Howard.
was like, "Oh, am I still on this team? What happened? What happened to the previous
you guys
7
forget
weeks?"
to tell me that you cut me before the game.
Yeah. Why am I here again? So,
but Boston Scott's a great pickup this week.
Yeah, Boston's got a great pickup this week. All right, number 1 this week. We talked about this guy previously because
we've talked about it for a few weeks now.
He has not had a week in the NFL where he was not the most targeted guy on his team.
Yep.
And his name is Rashad Bateman. And if you have still not picked him up after experiencing the cluster terribleness of the past Sunday, then you need to pick him up. He's only 19.5% owned across ESPN leagues. He's not available in my league because our league here, very competitive. Everyone's on them before everyone else.
Yep.
So you saw that Boston Scott was already taken. Rashad Bateman is already taken. You need to snag. Okay. You need to snag this dude while you can. Rashad Bateman. He's had.
This is your last chance to get Rashad Bateman.
Yeah, he's gonna really mold his positioning in this team very fast, which he already has.
After this week, they just had a bye week. They just had a whole extra week for him to get fully involved into the offense.
Right.
Fully start getting some chemistry with Lamar Jackson. And I think this is going to be the week that he breaks it off. This will be the last chance for you to get him off your waiver wire. And I think he could be a league winner wide receiver.
Yeah, he could be. 2 weeks.
This could be a crazy rookie wide receiver draft class because, we got Jamar Chase. We got Kadarius Toney, and I think Rashad Bateman is going to be right up there with those two.
Yep, Jamar Chase. Yep. Those are my 3 favorite rookie wide receivers right now. Even though we haven't seen much Bateman, I have a lot
what
of
we
high
have
hopes
seen.
for him.
He just looks like
He looks like a
so
stud.
athletic, yeah.
Like I said, he started 2 weeks so far, 6 targets on both weeks. First week he only scored 4.9 points, but still was the highest targeted wide receiver that week.
Yep.
Week 7 playing against Cincinnati, 6 targets again, 80 yards, 9.5 fantasy points. Still the most targeted offensive player on the team that week. He's going to be a stud. He's going to be a dude that Lamar Jackson relies on. And if you have a bench spot that's like, meh, replace him with this dude because he's only 20% owned across ESPN leagues.
Yeah. Honestly, the only reason why he didn't get picked up more last week is because he was on bye. So no one went to go look for him this week because he wasn't going to score any points.
Right.
So take that as a gift in your league and go get him now.
Go get him now.
You won't be able to after this week. Who do they play this week?
They
have a pretty good matchup. I think.
They're playing in Minnesota this week.
Yeah, he's gonna go off, man.
Yeah, he's gonna have a good week.
He's gonna go off. If you can get him, you might even throw him into your flex this week.
Right. Yeah. But those are our top 5 waiver wire pickups.
Yep.
We're going to do 2 more segments and then probably do a showdown lineup. I realize that our show screwed up so many times. We lost every year that we had. But all right, so we're going to do buy lows. Who are you buying low this week, Josiah?
All right, so I got I got 3 buy low names written down here. 2 of them we talked
I've got
about
3 as
briefly,
well.
so I'm going to
Yeah.
do the one we haven't talked about a lot yet first.
Okay.
And that is Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb, okay.
Nick Chubb. I think Nick Chubb is just way too good for what he has been doing recently.
Right.
And Baker Mayfield doesn't look like he's going to be able to throw the ball much this year. They're going to run the ball. They're a team that wants to run the ball anyways.
Because
And
Baker
Nick Chubb
Mayfield
got a little banged up a few weeks ago, and it looks like he's back from it. He had a really tough matchup last week against Pittsburgh, and I can't remember who they play this week, but I remember that it's a good matchup, and I'm pretty sure he's going to go off this week. Nick Chubb is he's probably the best overall running back in the league behind Derrick Henry and no one else.
I don't know if I'd agree with that. What about
think he
Dalvin
is.
Cook?
I think Nick Chubb's better.
You feel like Nick Chubb's better, okay.
Yep. Dalvin Cook's a better pass catcher, so maybe if you're talking about that sense, Dalvin Cook takes him. But I'm just talking
But
about
just like
a running
grabbing the
back.
ball and running through a offensive line,
Yeah,
you feel like
I think
Nick
Derrick
Chubb is
Henry's
better.
ahead of him and no one else.
All right.
And I think at some point he's going to have a big game like we've seen Derrick Henry have a few of this year.
All right, so Nick Chubb is your first one. What's your next one?
Yep.
All right, actually, I'll do one first.
Yeah,
before
go ahead, you do
Yeah,
one.
we'll go back and forth. All right, so I think Jerry Judy is a good buy low target this week. I understand that he only scored like I'm not pulling up the
He had
names.
like 49 yards, 4 targets, 4 catches.
Yeah, he had 4 targets, 4 catches, which means he caught everything that came
did.
his way. He got 39 yards, 5.9 fantasy points in a half PPR league. I feel like Jerry Judy's going to get more opportunity and he's going to become a superstar. So going forward, I feel like Jerry Judy's going to be a dude that you want to try to target. If there's someone on your team that you're not feeling 100% confident about, but they've produced more points than Jerry Judy, then I would target him.
So I love Jerry Judy. I think he's a super talented wide receiver. Probably top 8 or 10 talent at the position in the league. But this is what I don't like about Jerry Judy.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, he's just not good enough, man.
What happened the first
What's
2
wrong
weeks?
with Teddy Bridgewater?
I don't know.
Denver is just packed loaded with offensive talent, and Teddy Bridgewater still can't move the ball.
I don't know.
They had a good
He looked
they had
good.
A dream matchup last week.
He looked good the first few
He's
weeks.
got Jerry
Teddy
Judy
Bridgewater.
to throw to. Cortland Sutton is a stud wide
Noah
receiver
Fant.
on the other side. Noah Fant is one of the most athletic tight ends in the league.
Javonte Williams looks like a stud.
Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon is one of the best two-headed running back combos that you got.
I don't know.
Why can't he get the ball? Why can't he?
Well, I
get
don't
it
know.
done?
He looked good at first, but then I don't know what happened. He just lost confidence.
I don't know
maybe.
if he's banged
I don't
up
know.
or what, but he's just not getting. He's not getting the job.
I still
done
feel
right
pretty good about Jerry Judy. I feel like Jerry Judy's going to create opportunities for him.
I'm just worried about him this season because I just don't know if Teddy Bridgewater is gonna. I mean, I think Judy will be fine, but I don't know if Teddy Bridgewater can make him be as good as he can be.
This is his first game since his injury.
Yeah.
And in the first game we saw Jerry Judy, and he looked like a stud.
He did.
So I feel like that's going to be the normal. That's going to be more normal for
I hope
Jerry
you're right.
Judy
I have
than...
Jerry Judy in every single one of my leagues.
Well, I don't have him in any.
That's
and
because
I
I
still
have them and we're in almost all the same leagues.
right. And I still love Jerry Judy. I feel like he's going to be a stud. And I feel like if you're in a keeper league,
If you're in a keeper league, man, he's
you need
so
to grab
good.
him.
He's
and,
so good.
Yeah, I feel like Jerry Judy.
He runs
his
about the best
future,
routes of anyone in the
It
league.
can only go up from this point.
Yeah.
Is how I feel about Jerry
I
Judy.
like him. I hope Teddy Bridgewater can figure it out because he just needs someone to give him the ball.
Right. All right. So what's your number 2 on your buy lows?
My number 2 is Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts. Oh,
Yep.
makes sense.
I mean, Kyle Pitts might be hard to buy low on, but he had a bad week last week, so maybe someone's frustrated. But I think he's going to be a stud going forward. And when you can get a stud at the tight end position, it makes all the difference in the world
Right.
for your fantasy team.
That position is very hit or miss.
Every
It's-
year there's
it's
like
very
2
limited.
tight ends that are good, and if you have one of those 2 tight ends, you are setting yourself above everyone else
Right.
every single week.
because you got
And I mean,
someone
to
in
me-
the tight end position that you can confidently rely on.
Yeah, and to me, I mean, I think this year those 2 players could be Travis Kelce and Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts, yeah.
Yep.
I love Kyle Pitts, especially with Calvin Ridley, which, it's sad that he's dealing with mental issues or whatever it is that he's dealing with. There's not a lot of news on it as far as the details of it, but, like, football sense, if he's out, it feels like they're going to game script to get the ball
gonna
to
have
Kyle
to.
Pitts,
There's
right?
there's
Who else
nothing-
is there? There's Russell Gage.
There's no other options. You're not going to game plan
Cordell
to get the ball to
Patterson,
Russell Gage.
Mike Davis.
They're going to game plan touches for Patterson, and they're going to game plan touches for Pitts.
Right. So it really benefits Patterson and
Yeah.
Kyle Pitts.
It's going to benefit Pitts the most because he's the most talented player on the team.
Oh, yeah. There was an
when
insane
you're the
one-handed catch that he did
When
last week.
you're a player as talented as he is, and your team is targeting ways to get you the ball, good things are going to happen at some point.
Right.
Who's your second?
My second is Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase.
He had a bad week this week, and that's why I put him on my buy lows because he had a bad week.
Similar to Kyle Pitts. Like, he might be a hard guy to buy, but
Right.
maybe this week is the week to do it.
Right. He had around, I think it was 4 or 5 red zone targets that were just overthrown or the coverage was maybe a little too good or something, but they love to throw this dude the ball when they're close to the end zone. So not only is he going to catch the ball as they're heading down the field, but whenever they get close, they throw the ball to him. In fact, 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
So, like, Jamar Chase, he's out-producing, I feel like at this point, out-producing Odell Beckham's rookie year. He might have the best stats to this
He
point.
might. I don't know.
Because
What's great about Jamar Chase, too, is that Cincinnati always has to pass the ball.
Right, they always have to
Because
pass
their
the ball.
offense is really good, but their defense sucks.
Yeah, it's terrible.
So they're just
But-
going to have to pass the ball to
But
him all the
Jamar
time.
Chase, yeah. And also, they have that college connection, Joe Burrow
True.
and Jamar Chase.
Yep.
And it shows.
And it showed right away.
It showed right
Yeah.
away.
I was a little skeptical about it going into the league. I was like, I don't know. I think it's getting a
Joe
little
Burrow
overblown.
loves to throw the ball to Jamar Chase.
He does, man.
In fact, if Joe Burrow went out, I would not like Jamar Chase very much.
Oh, definitely not. I mean, obviously, that's part of the reason why he's so good, is Joe Burrow's good.
Right, because Joe Burrow is good, and they have that college connection.
Yep.
So I feel like Jamar Chase is a good possible buy low this week. It depends on the person, how emotionally they're feeling that week, whoever you're trying to trade. But I feel like Jamar Chase, there's some opportunities to get him for cheap this week.
Yeah.
So
There might
he's one of my buy lows. All right, let's get your third.
My third is Ryan Tannehill.
Ryan Tannehill.
Yep. I think
makes
Ryan
sense.
Tannehill is going to turn things around with the Derrick Henry news.
Yeah.
Because Tannehill's not been a bad quarterback. I mean, he's a good quarterback. It's just the fact that Derrick Henry is their offense, or was their offense, and he's just been getting so many touchdowns. Derrick Henry has like 13 touchdowns already on the year, and going forward, there might be like 5 running back touchdowns.
Right.
Which means that's like 8 more touchdowns to go to Tannehill on a game-to-game basis. And
There's not going to be 5. There's going to be more than that.
I would bet that there's going to be 5 or less running back touchdowns
For the rest of the year for Tennessee.
for their team. Yeah,
No, I don't agree with that.
I do. Who? You love Adrian Peterson or what?
No, I don't love Adrian Peterson, but Tennessee puts himself in that situation a lot, where they get in like the 20-yard line and they have to run the ball. And I feel like Adrian Peterson, that he'll shine there. It's
They're
how I
going to
feel.
throw the ball more.
They will throw the ball more for sure.
They're going to get a lot.
For sure, but I feel like
What Tennessee is good at is getting the ball to their good players.
there's going to be weeks where Adrian Peterson scores 2 touchdowns. There's going to be more
I'll
than
bet
one.
you right now, $25.
$25.
Adrian Peterson has 0 games with 2 touchdowns.
Zero games with 2 touchdowns? What do you
Yes.
mean?
I'm saying I'll bet you that he doesn't have any games where he scores 2 touchdowns.
0 games where he has no touchdowns. No. Yeah, I'll take
2
that.
touchdowns.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll get a touchdown at some point.
So you're saying one game where Adrian Peterson scores 2 touchdowns,
Yeah.
you'll give me $25.
Yep.
I'll take that.
And if he never scores 2
That is-
touchdowns in a game, then you can give me $25.
That's right. For the rest of the season.
Yep.
I'll take that.
All right.
Let's do
It's
that.
in. We're doing it.
We're doing it. All right. He's going to. And you're going to just pay me $25.
There's no way he does
He's going to. He's going to. All right. So that was Ryan Tannehill.
Ryan Tannehill, man, he's a really good buy low because I think people are a little frustrated with him right now because he hasn't had any like really big games, but I think they're gonna come now. He's gonna get the touchdowns. That's just been the thing is Derrick Henry takes the touchdowns.
Yeah. Makes sense. He's Derrick Henry.
Right.
All right. So my last one. Was that your last one?
That was my last one. Yeah.
All right. My last one is Corey Davis.
Corey Davis.
Yeah, Corey Davis. He just came off an injury. He's got Mike White. Zach Wilson looks like a bleh. But Mike White looks like a stud.
I don't like love Corey Davis, but you can go get him for like nothing.
You can go get him for nothing. Yeah, for sure you can. I've been doing a bad job pulling up the players, but here's Corey Davis. Exactly, you can get him for nothing. That's what I'm saying. He's a buy low. That's what we're doing.
You could probably pick him off the waiver wire.
We'll see. Corey Davis, 71% owned. You can't pick him off the waiver wire off of 70% of the leagues. Last week, against New England, he got 6 targets, 4 receptions, 47 yards, 1 touchdown. And with Mike White, whenever he was healthy, did nothing because
he might be fine. I don't know. I don't love Corey Davis, but
okay, you didn't love Corey Davis with Zach Wilson.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't.
What
love
about
him going into the year?
You like what Mike White's doing, right?
I was impressed by Mike White this week.
Okay, so if Mike White keeps it up, do you not think that Corey Davis is going to benefit from that?
I don't know. I think Michael Carter and Jameson Crowder will with all the short passes.
I wish I. No.
I think there's a good chance that Mike White can't throw the ball down the field.
We'll see. Let's see here. How many attempts did Mike White have?
A lot. Yeah,
Let's see.
He had completed a lot of passes.
He completed, or his attempts. It's not showing up here. They don't have passing attempts on this, but he had 405 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Mike White.
See if you can pull up a stat where pulls up his passing attempts.
I'll use Sleeper. They're better.
Because I feel like I think he was 90% efficient on his passing attempts.
He completed 37 out of 45 attempts.
37. That's 8 passes where he did not.
Yeah, because he never throws the ball down the field.
So were most of those yards after the catch? That'd be interesting.
It must have been.
That'd be interesting to know too.
Yeah.
I feel like he was throwing down the field too. I don't know. I can't be for sure.
Plus the fact that all of his yards were going to Michael Carter and Jameson Crowder. Those guys don't run down the field.
That's true. I feel like I don't know. But I feel like Corey Davis is going to benefit from this.
I feel like Corey Davis.
If you're 90% efficient on your passing, which is maybe it's like 80% efficient on your passing, that's going to benefit your number one for sure.
I feel like Corey Davis is better off having Zach Wilson.
No, I don't agree with that.
Zach Wilson throws the ball down the field.
Corey Davis is my number 3 buy low, and I feel very confident about that.
It's worth a shot if you believe in him, because like I said, you can get him for nothing.
You can get him. You can't get him for nothing. He's 71% owned.
Well, I'm saying you can trade like one of your bench players for him. Now.
Yeah. Who's one of your bench players that you could trade for him?
I don't know. I wouldn't in our money league. I wouldn't even want Corey Davis on my roster. Rashad Bateman is my worst
Who's on your
receiver.
bench? Who's on your bench?
I'd have to drop Boston Scott or Rashad Bateman or Tony Pollard or Alexander Madison. I'd rather have those guys.
Madison? No.
Why? I would rather have a guy who, if Dalvin Cook goes out, I know Madison is in my roster every week.
Okay, yeah, maybe. But I feel like Corey Davis, you're not giving enough credit. He's going to be a stud. He's going to kill it with Mike White. As long as Mike White isn't a fluky one-time.
He might. Like I said, if you're desperate for a receiver, you can trade one of your bench players for him, because that's all it takes to get him.
Well, you've never been high on Corey Davis. Whenever I texted you, Corey Davis is good week 1 when he scored 24 points, you're like, oh, it's 1 week.
I was right. It was just 1 week.
It was not just 1 week. We got 19 points in week 4, 111 yards, 7 targets. It's not just 1 week. It's Zach Wilson's fault.
I don't know. We'll see.
All right, let's do our sell highs real quick.
All right, let's do some sell highs.
I have one this week. That's all I could think of this week.
I have a few, so I'll go first here. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start at quarterback. My sell high is Jalen Hurts.
Oh yeah, sell high for sure.
It's maybe not the best week to sell him because he just had a bad week, and it's been like his only fantasy-wise his only bad week of the year. So maybe you wait one more week to sell him. But I will be shocked if Jalen Hurts is still the quarterback. The starting quarterback by the end of the year. I think he's going to get benched.
He's terrible.
Yeah, because their team's not good, and he doesn't
pass the ball. He runs it.
Yeah, he just
and
doesn't.
If he doesn't run it, Jordan Howard and Boston Scott runs it.
Right.
He's awful.
So, I just think at some point.
He's like the best
The thing is,
awful. Wait, let me say this. He's the best awful quarterback that scores the most fantasy points ever.
I just think he's a great sell high because, yeah, he's been scoring a ton of fantasy points. And so someone is going to be like, oh, yeah, I want the number 5 quarterback in the league.
Right.
But in
He
3
runs
weeks,
it in.
he might be giving you 0 points.
Right.
Because he's on the bench.
He can't throw the ball, so he's like, I can't make that. I'll just run it.
Right. So to me, I'd rather just trade him. I would even trade down a few spots and take a little bit lower quarterback for him. Just
Right.
for somebody who I know is not going to get benched.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. So you have 3, is that what you said?
Yeah, I have
So do your second one, then I'll do mine.
So another one for me, and we've kind of talked about this team a lot, but Michael Carter is a pretty good sell high for me.
Sell high? Yeah.
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 I
see
don't,
that.
There's no way he's going to keep getting 14 targets.
No.
I mean, maybe he benefits from Mike White being the
Yeah,
quarterback.
maybe he'll be better than what he has been, but I don't feel
Yeah.
like you can't expect what he did.
And maybe you hold on to him because everyone might think it was a fluke week for him, and if that's the case, then
Yeah, if you're trying to
just
trade
hold
him,
on to him.
if you're trying to trade him to us, then
But if someone thinks like, oh man, he's about to go off, he just had a crazy week of 30 points, and they're willing to pay a lot for him, I would trade him because they're still the Jets, and I would say the odds are that they go back to being the Jets.
yeah, no, I like that a lot. I like that call a lot. He had 27.7 fantasy points, 15 attempts, 77 yards, 1 touchdown. And then on the and this is really where the sell high comes in. He had 14 targets, 9 receptions, 95 yards.
Yeah,
that's
no
like
way
across
he's
the
gonna
board.
keep getting 14 targets.
That's not sustainable for Michael Carter. You
No.
need to sell him while you can if anyone is gullible enough to do it.
Yeah, if someone is buying the 30 points, sell him.
Yeah, get rid of him.
He
All
just had his best game of the year.
My sell high this week, which is a guy that I think we'll agree on for sure, is in fact Joe Mixon, who had 14 attempts, 33 yards. Okay, 1 touchdown,
Typical
and
Joe
then he
Mixon.
had 5 targets, 4 receptions, 58 yards. 23 fantasy points. That's a pretty good week for your running back, but this is not Joe Mixon. He does not have enough talent to keep that kind of production going on. In my opinion, I could be wrong. I just don't like Joe Mixon, but I feel like you could get a lot for him this week. And if you can get a lot for him this week after a pretty good game, 23.1 fantasy points in a half PPR league, you should do it.
That's why I love Joe Mixon as a sell high too, because you can just get so much for him, and I just don't think he's
was
worth
that
it.
was that your next one?
That wasn't my next one, but
Okay.
just because I've brought him up in the past, I still think he's a great sell high.
Yeah, he's a great sell high. I feel like like look at his previous weeks. He had 23 points week 1, 7.62, 9.9, 13. It's fluky. It's fluky for sure. And if someone is excited about Joe Mixon after this past week, give him to him and try to get something of value out of him. I feel like Joe Mixon is a great sell high target this week. So if you have the opportunity to do it, then you should do it because look at this. 14 attempts, 33 yards.
Right.
Okay.
He's a pillar of consistency.
Yeah, pillar of consistency. All right, what's your last sell high?
My last sell high is an interesting one.
All right.
He's coming off, or expected to potentially come off the IR this week. And he's pretty good at football, but Christian McCaffrey.
Sell high?
Yep.
Sell high for Christian McCaffrey.
He's coming back this week, so, someone's going to be willing to pay Christian McCaffrey price for him.
No, I like that call.
And their team is so bad, I think if he gets nicked up at all, they're just going to shut him down for the year because he seems to be dealing with some health issues.
For? Right, what are they playing for?
Yeah, it's just not worth it. And their team sucks. I mean, Sam Darnold's so bad. I don't even know if Christian McCaffrey would be normal Christian McCaffrey on that team right now.
Right.
So I would sell him right now because if news comes out that he gets activated off the IR, there's going to be plenty of teams who are like, yeah, I'll trade you whatever you want for him because he's Christian McCaffrey.
Right.
So do that because I don't think he's going to be Christian McCaffrey going forward.
Right. Well, I would agree with that because
you're probably you probably don't have a great record if you have Christian McCaffrey on your lineup.
Right. That's
so
right. You spend a lot of money for him, or you use your first-round pick to get him,
right,
or something like that. It's probably not looking good.
You can get 2 studs for McCaffrey.
Oh yeah,
do it right now because your team
sell
probably needs it.
It before it's obvious that it's done for the season. Yeah. Which is something I if I could see the future, I would have done the same thing with Derrick Henry. But also at the same time, I I feel like Derrick Henry's going to be back. But, yeah, I feel like that's a good call because before we see how...
I didn't get McCaffrey in too many leagues, but if I had him, I would be looking at trades for him.
Yeah, I would be looking at trades for him.
So much for him right
the
now.
Perfect scenario would be like look for trades and then stash Hubbard just in case. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hopefully, if you have McCaffrey, you already got Hubbard because if I had got McCaffrey, I would have drafted Hubbard with my last pick.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. Well, considering we have had 0 questions this show.
Our live show was a hit.
Our live show was a hit this week. We're gonna have a lot of good clips because we had a lot of good stuff.
We got a lot of good
we don't need to do
content in
the
there.
showdown thing unless someone says in the chat right now, please do a showdown lineup. We're not going to do one. We're just going to pass on because
And looks like we're not doing it.
looks like we're not doing because we had to deal with electrical issues that restarted the show 3 times and we lost your attention. I understand how that works. I would have lost my own attention. I almost did losing my own attention in this show. But overall,
But no, a lot of good content out there. We're gonna get some more out there, so keep your eye out.
yeah, keep your eye out. We're going to we won't be here on Monday next week because we will be out of town at a friend's wedding, but it'll be either Tuesday or Wednesday. Our one viewer, if that's just me, I'm just letting you know.
Just letting ourselves know we'll be back on Wednesday.
I'll let myself know. We'll be back on Wednesday. But look forward to more content. If you're watching this podcast after we did it live, we are going to do this constantly. Live show every Monday and Thursday, and several clips coming out every single day for the rest of the season. If you did join us at the beginning, thank you for joining us at that point. Sorry about the technical difficulties. We have a lot of passion for this, and you're going to see a lot more content coming from us every single week. And with that, we don't have an outro or a dude that can just turn the stream off. So I have to leave. So Josiah will sign us out.
All right. If you did join us at all during our show today, thank you. If you got any fantasy questions throughout the week, drop them in the comments on one of our videos, and we will absolutely get back to you and give you our opinion. So thanks for liking and subscribing.